Hi guys, welcome to Flip the Deck Tarot. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to find out why people love you. So what draws them to you, what they love about you, what they can't get enough of. This can be a romantic partner that you are wondering about, so you might get details about why your romantic partner has fallen for you, but this is going to be why people love you in general. So this is just, this can be friends, family members, people who just randomly meet you. What makes them love you? So we have 4 readings today. These heart-shaped cards are so cute. The artwork on them is absolutely stunning. So this is going to be group 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pause the video if you need to take a little bit more time to look at these images. Pick whichever image or image you feel most drawn to, and I will have your timestamps in the description box down below. If you feel drawn to more than one of these images, then check out whichever readings you feel called to. And I am going to jump in with reading 1, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, number 1. If you were drawn to this image, this is your reading. We're going to find out why people love you. What makes them feel drawn to you? What qualities and attributes do they admire in you? So let's start with this card and let's see what the message is on this card. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. Okay. I want you to kind of like look at this image while we discuss some of the messages that are coming through for you already. This is actually starting maybe a little differently than I had planned or anticipated, but I do think that a message I really want you to know, I think your spirit guides are coming through really strong in this reading. And first of all, I think they absolutely adore you. I think they think that you are the most lovable person. And there's this feeling that you might doubt yourself sometimes, that you might not feel like you know what makes you lovable. It's almost like this topic might have been slightly triggering because it brought up some of that self-doubt. This isn't for everybody, but I think it's important to say. I think that if you're ever struggling with feelings of unworthiness, or if you wonder why somebody would think you were special, there could be events in your past that might lead you to kind of like question why somebody would really fall in love with you. I'm just picking up on that for a lot of you with this. So this is really a reminder to you. I think your guides just are coming through loud and clear to remind you of how lovable you are, of what a gift you are. You are someone that positively impacts everyone that crosses your path. And that's just really important for us to start there. If ever those feelings of self-doubt creep up, I think that probably happens for everyone, but for you in particular, your guides really want you to know you are a very, very special gift to this world, and they want you to never doubt that. I'm hearing you're a light. So, yeah, take that as it resonates, because I am kind of like picking up on that it might mean different things to different people, but you are a light, and for some of you it's like you're a light worker. Yeah, you bring a lot of light, a lot of joy into everyone's life around you, and they don't want you to forget that. For others of you, there is a message coming through, so I think that some of you were wondering if a particular person is drawn to you, or if a particular person loves you or finds you lovable, or has any kind of deeper feelings or romantic feelings for you. So this is also confirmation for you that they do. And that it's just an interesting message to come through, because that's not really the reading that we're doing, but your guides have a lot of stuff to tell you, and it just feels like they're taking this opportunity to let you know that person does feel that way about you, and you should never doubt if you're lovable or if someone is looking at you that way, because chances are they are. So let's move on. People are really drawn to your ability to do what's right. I feel like you are a person who does what's right no matter what, and you do what's right not only for you but for all those involved. So very considerate, very caring, and it's like you're always looking out for the people around you. I feel like this is an ability. In your case, it feels like a superpower, and it might seem to you like that's overly dramatic, or that's like stating too much. It's just too big of a claim for something that is so easy, that comes so naturally, that just is right for you to do the right thing. I think you just feel like that is right, but for some people, it's very challenging for them. So this is almost like a superpower for you, because not everyone can do this as naturally as you do. People admire this about you. They admire the way that you don't take the easy road, the way that you do what's right and what's true for you, what's true in your heart, even if it's not the easiest decision to make. Yeah, you have a lot of integrity, and I think that people see you as very, very kind, and just somebody who's not going to take the convenient path. Like, you're just never taking the convenient path. I mean, if it is the right path, you'll take it, but you don't choose your direction purely based on convenience. You choose it on what feels right, what is in the highest good of all of those involved. And it's really something that people admire about you. I think that also with this image, there's just so much coming through for this image. I think that you have experienced a lot of growth, and I think that people around you really recognize the growth that you have achieved. They recognize the transformation that you have made. I think there's someone here, it feels like somebody has watched you grow and blossom into just such an honorable, peaceful, and kind person, and they're proud of you. I am feeling the presence of like a mother figure here for some of you. I think it might be a grandmother figure that is coming through so strong. Group 1, you're getting a lot of messages. There's a motherly figure here that wants you to know that you have blossomed into the most beautiful, caring, kind, compassionate person, and they want you to know how proud they are of you, and like how much effort it has taken for you to make these changes. They see it. I think maybe you might struggle with people not seeing it, not recognizing it, or not knowing if people do see and recognize all of the ways that you've grown. There's someone in your life that thinks you're very special, and that does see it. Let's get into more of your cards. Okay. You have the thread. Okay. The thing that people love the most about you is that an average person, your typical person, gets really distracted with the busyness of life. They get really distracted by the pull of accomplishing this thing or doing this task, or just how life kind of gets away from us. They live so firmly grounded in the 3D. And that's not the way that you approach life. It kind of goes back to that, like always doing what's right and really listening to your inner knowing when it comes to just how you're going to approach life, what decisions you're going to make. But people really admire your ability to keep making that right choice and to not get distracted by, especially by achieving. This is something that's coming up really strong for you. It's not that you aren't achieving or that you are viewed as unsuccessful, or it's nothing like that at all. You managed to be successful, and that's why people admire this, because they can only be successful by striving. They can only be successful by not adhering to their morals and their values. I think you have people in your life that feel like they let pieces of themselves fall away in order to achieve this, in order to have that, in order to to move up in a way, to feel like they've moved up. But you have this way of leveling up in a very peaceful, natural way that doesn't sacrifice who you are, who you truly are. So it's like you know where your true north is, and you always stay really focused on that. This is something that people around you absolutely love, and I feel like it's just more like they strive to be more like you in this way. They strive to have that sort of clarity and to have the discipline to to be true to themselves. Yeah. I think you really remember like what you came here to do. Even if that memory seems very faint at times to you, there's really a sense that you are connected and remember why you chose to incarnate, so you don't stray from your path too much. Like, even if the easiest thing to do would be to stray from your path, that's not the choice that you make. Your vision is like crystal clear. I keep hearing the word envious. Like, I do think that this is something that people admire about you, but there's also this feeling that there might be someone in your life that's really envious of this, that's really envious of the ability that you have to do this. I think it just comes from, it's like you get to live your life with so much purpose. And in doing that, you inspire everyone around you. But it wouldn't be surprising if some people are kind of envious of this natural ability that you have to just stay focused and stay moving toward your true north all the time. Yeah, I am kind of picking up on like you might have felt held back by this at times. Like this almost feels like you may have viewed this as some sort of hindrance in the past. Like that it's like you just can't, if it doesn't feel right to you, you're not going to do it. If it feels like it's going to hurt somebody, you're not on board. And it can feel like it holds you back because it's like other people get all these opportunities because they sacrifice their morals in order to have these opportunities. It's just not a place that you've been willing to budge. And this is something that people who truly love you and truly admire you, this is something they absolutely love about you. Let's see some more of your oracle cards. We have Awakening and the Royal You. Yeah, this is really gorgeous energy, you guys. It's something, I feel like being around you is really contagious for people. It's very eye-opening. It's very peaceful. It's a very peaceful energy. I think that comes from you being really tapped in spiritually. I am kind of feeling like some of you might not realize how tapped in spiritually you are, and maybe that's something you haven't explored, but it's like you've had this inkling that you are more tapped in than the average person. And that's kind of what this is. It's like you've got a direct line in a way. Like you're being guided. This might be that you are super close with your spirit guides. Your spirit guide showed up right in the beginning of this reading and started unloading information on you. And so I feel like that might be that you have a connection with kind of like ascended souls, with ascended beings, with you have access to higher knowledge is really what that is. Yeah, this is really something that people absolutely adore about you. Your higher self is just so strongly connected to source energy that it guides you, and that's that energy I was picking up on in the beginning of the reading. I think you have the ability to make sense of the chaos a lot of times. So this is something that really draws people to you. You have a kind of like calm, soothing energy, but it's not just that. You can kind of help people to direct their steps. People really trust your opinion and they ask for your advice a lot because they trust that you're stable, that you're grounded, and it's almost like you have it's not really knowledge. It's like, I guess I said it before, you have a direct line. So it's almost like you have a direct line to spirit. So they come to you to advise them, and people love that. Like, they love that you're always there to listen and to advise them. This making sense out of the chaos thing can also translate to something very material. So you might be somebody who's really good at organizing or cleaning up spaces, like putting information into a digestible form for people. That might be something that you excel at, and people love that about you. They go to you for this. They go to you so that you can make sense of things for them. They go to you to kind of run by, what am I trying to say? Like, they run it by you. Like, if they had a conversation with somebody and they can't quite make sense of what it means, you're like the first person that they want to call, and they just really appreciate you being there in that way, being that listening ear. But not just that, like really sorting through things and making sense of it for them. This Awakening card, I think that the interesting thing about this is this card talks about seeing the invisible thread that's like woven through all of life. And you also have the thread. So that almost just says it right there. There's something about you where it's like you see how things are connected. You make sense of this. You make sense of this like earthly plane that we're on. You make sense of higher spiritual things that are too mystical for other people to grasp firmly. And then you like make it all comprehensible to people. Is that a word? you make it so that people can understand, and people really love that about you. I think that you have so many soul gifts, and that's really coming through here. So it's like you're getting a little bit of like extra information here because your guides want you to know how special you are. I think that's why we opened up with like that idea of self-doubt. If you're doubting yourself, stop, because you have so many gifts and you are such a blessing to those around you. You are a light to those around you, and it's almost like it's a guiding light. So there is this feeling that you really you have this ability to kind of like show people the way. And that'll resonate differently for all of you, but you have an ability to show people the way, and people really value you in their lives because of that. There's a real self-awareness here too. You know what I want to say for you is that some of you might be experiencing past life flashbacks. That might be kind of like a recurring theme in your life, something that's happened, maybe something you couldn't quite make sense of. This has to do with this thread, this invisible thread that you are more aware of than other people. So you're tuned in and tapped into something that is not available to a lot of people, and I think especially those around you. And a lot of people rely on you as like a checkpoint. Like they rely on you to make sure that something is right, something is fair, that it seems right, and that it will go well. I think a lot of you might be psychically gifted. Yeah, there's so many messages coming through for you that, yeah, I think there's a lot your guides want to tell you. And if you haven't explored some of these abilities of yours, they want to push you in that direction, because it's like you are you're so primed for it already. You're a natural, and with this awakening and this transformation, I think a lot of you may have already kind of picked up on that. People just love the way you can cut through all the mess. So there's this feeling of like you can just cut through the mess. Your energy is just calming, it's just soothing, and like when you come in, everything kind of just calms down. I think you are really great at taking responsibility for your actions. I think you take a lot of responsibility for your happiness, so you're not relying on other people to do that. You find a lot of happiness just within yourself. You find a lot of joy, and I think you enjoy your own company. And people are always drawn to people who enjoy their own company because it doesn't feel hard to be around them. I think you really know your worth, though, and that is that's important. Like, to really know your worth and to enjoy spending time with yourself actually makes people feel more drawn to you. You're really comfortable in your own skin. I feel like for some of you, you might be just learning how to be more comfortable in your own skin, but I think you're definitely getting there. And when you're comfortable in yourself, other people feel very comfortable around you. It's really like you're the ruler of your own mind here. And that is something that people love about you, because they know you're not going to be swayed by silly things, by petty things. You just feel very secure in your own mind, in your own worth, in your own knowledge, in your own experience, and in your own inner knowing. Very secure in that. So let's look at your tarot cards. We have the Sage and Spirit of Cups. So this is the Hierophant and then the King of Cups. So really with this is, with the Hierophant, it's always about, especially in this case, about really like spiritual wisdom and spiritual knowledge. So with this book here, it just shows it's like you feel like you have a lot of knowledge and people want to go to you and seek your advice. It's a natural connection to higher truths that they see in you. It's just something that comes naturally to you. So I feel like there can be the tendency for you to not really value this because it comes so easily to you, but you really are tapped into something, and other people are reliant on that. They want some reassurance, and they want a bit of a guide, and they look at you this way, and they love having you in their lives for this reason. This Spirit of Cups energy just shows a lot of emotional intelligence, mastery over your emotions, over your creativity, and also over the unconscious. Sorry. So yeah, there's a sense that you have really mastered this, that you kind of have mastered more of the unseen, more of the unknown, but it just comes so easily to you. I think with you, there's no drama, and people love that. They love that you are pretty chill, and that they're not going to expect a lot of drama, a lot of gossip, a lot of, no, like, it's just like you're not about that. You're emotionally balanced, and you're calm. Your energy is really calm. So this is what people love about you. I think that if you were thinking about this in terms of a romantic connection, this way that you're spiritually tapped in definitely plays into any kind of romance, and your romantic partners love that because you really you open up new possibilities for them, and you bring a certain peaceful and magical nature to your relationships. You make people feel more connected to the whole, to the greater whole, and make them really see the thread that kind of weaves and binds us all together. So I think I'll leave it there. There's a lot to love about you, so we can see why people are drawn to you. But that's all I see for you today, Group 1. If you liked this reading, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Hi, number 2. If you were drawn to this image, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out why people love you, why they are drawn to you. Again, this can be a romantic partner or just any person in your life, but there might be someone you have in mind and you want to know why they feel drawn to you. So you might get a bit of information about that in this reading. Let's start by seeing what message is on this card. So we have balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. And I'm actually going to bring out your first oracle card. Let's see what you have here. You have the Threshold. Okay, let's talk about this. So your balanced nature is what people love about you. It really draws people towards you. And it's mainly just the fact that you can see both sides of the coin. You have a gift for being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to see a situation from their point of view. And I think what's the most interesting about this when it comes to you is, at the same time, you're not willing to sacrifice your own point of view or your own truth. So this is actually a really unique quality, and people love this about you because it's not something that they find in a lot of people. You are you're able to do things, kind of make things live in the same world that wouldn't generally live there. I think there's there's a certain strength to you. There's a force. That's kind of the word I'm looking for. You are a force. I feel like there is this strength, and people kind of know that about you. They love that about you, especially people who are really close to you, who really want to see you do well and thrive and make your mark on this world. They love that about you because they don't have to worry about you backing down. They don't have to worry about you sacrificing, or they always know you're going to be okay because you're absolutely a force to be reckoned with. So they kind of know nobody's going to try it with you. But it's that doesn't come with some hard exterior or some closed off way of approaching the world where you can't see someone else's viewpoint. You can absolutely see where other people are coming from, but you also recognize your own truth. But you're very open-minded at the same time. Like if someone is going to present information to you that's going to change your mind, that has a reasonable like ability to actually make you shift your view on something, you're willing to do that. So it's a very balanced nature, that you have a very balanced approach to things. And this strength about you is really apparent. Like this is something that people pick up on right away. And I think it's something that really draws people to you. I think it draws people to you for a lot of different reasons. I think some people are drawn to you because they almost see like a protector quality in you. They know that you will stand up for them. You'll stand up for the truth. You'll stand up for fairness. So they might be drawn to you in that way. Some people who maybe feel like they are often taken advantage of or something. Like, I'm kind of picking up on, like, for some of you, you might be an older sibling or have children or kind of like serve that older sibling kind of role for somebody. But there's a sense of like, you will really protect and guard someone that you feel deeply for, and you will stand up for what's right and what's true when it comes to those that you love. Some other people are drawn to you purely because of your strength. Like they're drawn to the fact that you won't back down, that you actually have the guts to stand up to them, because I think you've shown the ability to stand up to people in your life that other people would not not feel confident standing up to. You might like to debate, or you might be really good at debating, but you definitely will get your point across, and people are drawn to that. I think there's also this feeling of like you always challenge those around you. Not in a bad way. You challenge them to open up their minds. You challenge them to look at things a little bit differently. You challenge them to to even deal with somebody who has an opposing view. So I think you push people a lot, and that those around you really love that about you, because they know that they're going to grow. They know that they're going to expand. They know that they're going to be opened up to a whole new world of possibilities just being around you. This can be something as simple as like you encourage people to try a new food that they've never tried before, or you encourage someone to read a book that explores a different viewpoint than they were used to. It's just like you have this desire to kind of like bring balance to the situation, tell both sides of the story. And I really do feel like you kind of like you're like the spark in a way that kind of will push people to explore something new, that then I think a lot of times it turns out that they feel so much better. They feel more creative, or they feel more inspired, or they feel more educated, because something that you initiated, it's like you're that first domino. That's the feeling I'm picking up on here. You act as that first domino, and something that you initiate often really changes things for people. It puts them on a new path, or it opens up their mind in a certain way. I think you're also really, really smart. People are drawn to your intelligence. You have a gift for being able to consider a number of different possibilities, or a number of different solutions at one time. So people are really drawn to your intelligence, to your quick mind. That might also come in the form of quick wit. You might be a little bit like sharp-tongued or sarcastic at times. I think people think like it feels like that's something that people around you love. Maybe if it's not directed at them, I think they think it's really funny. Maybe sometimes if it's directed at them, they don't find it that funny. But I do think you have a sense of humor, and that your intelligence really plays into that. I think this intelligence, though, it's like, this is something people immediately pick up on about you. So I don't know if this is because you are like a well of knowledge, and you are always like enlightening people when it comes to maybe just like topics you're interested in, or maybe you're like at work, you're very knowledgeable about the field that you're in, but there's this feeling that people are really drawn to your intelligence right from the start. And I think for some of you, you might even feel like you didn't say very much, or you haven't said enough for them to be drawn to your intelligence. But it's like you have a way of dropping little nuggets. It's like you drop knowledge on people all the time and you don't really realize you're doing it, but it definitely pulls people in because they're intrigued by something that you said, or like you get their wheels turning. Even if you're only in their presence for a couple of minutes, you'll say something that gets their wheels turning, and this leaves people thinking about you a lot. I'm kind of picking up on, like, for a lot of you, that you have somebody special in your life that really thinks a lot about you, and they kind of replay a lot of the things that you said, or I feel like it's like your exit line a lot of the time. Like you have a way of leaving them with a statement that really like shocks them or makes them think, and then you kind of disappear, and it like leaves you on the, lingering on their minds like long after you're gone. There's a really balanced and nurturing kind of energy coming with this. So I feel like this is, you're very, very multifaceted. Like you are bringing intelligence to the table. You're bringing calmness and nurturing to the table. You're bringing balance to the table. You're like a real fighter. I feel like for a lot of you, there might be some cause that you're very passionate about. I think some of you are activists at heart, and people really recognize this in you, and they admire your ability to stand up for what's right, to show people another way to view things, and it's like this fight. There's a fight in you, there's a passion in you, there's a fire in you, and it really it attracts people. It ignites something in those around you. You're pushing people to new heights with this threshold card. It's like you might be doing this consciously, you might not be, but you're pushing people to new heights. You aren't afraid to challenge belief systems that have been put in place. You'll challenge the status quo. You'll even challenge your own beliefs, and that's something that is very admirable and something that people recognize in you, because you will challenge yourself. You will look at things in a new way, even if you were firm about it before. You really celebrate the differences in people, so you make people feel like it's okay for them to be themselves. I think you're really adventurous too. It's like there's this feeling that you just explore in every way possible. So you might love to travel or read a lot of books, but it just feels like you're always kind of on an adventure, and that those around you are along for the ride, and they love it. Like they would never be pulled outside of their box if it weren't for you. You really push the boundaries. You are willing to go places that you've never gone before, or that no one's ever gone before. Yeah, don't dim to fit in. This is what people love about you. You're not willing to tone back. You don't sacrifice yourself. You don't diminish your gifts. You really let it all shine. And when you do that, you let other people shine that are around you. When you are not dimming and kind of dumbing yourself down, that's like, you don't do that. Like, you don't do that at all. I am picking up on, for some of you, you might be a designer of some sort, graphic designer, fashion designer, some kind of design, but you really push the boundaries with your design. You take things outside of the box. You're like willing to try that thing that nobody else has ever done before. You're willing to present a creation of some sort in a way that no one else has before. And people love this about you. People admire this about you. You inspire them. You inspire creativity in everyone around you. And we also have the land between. In this context, this card is really making me, basically, you find comfort. Now, I say this loosely because I know a lot of times when we stretch ourselves, when we grow ourselves, we aren't actually comfortable at all. But in terms of how other people see you, it's like you're comfortable in those in-between places. You're comfortable on the journey. You're comfortable somewhere on the path from here to there. And this is the place that honestly most people run away from. People like to stay in their comfort zone. So basically, if if they've reached one destination of comfort, they aren't that eager to go over here, where maybe they would find some comfort once they get there, but this whole path along the way will put them in a very uncomfortable situation. And this is why people don't tend to grow and to change that much. Like people get set in their ways. This isn't something that you do or that other people see you doing. They see you finding some level of comfort in these in-between places. They see you as somebody brave enough to be on that road to somewhere, and to be outside of your comfort zone, and to be looking at something in a whole new crazy way, and to really stand behind what you believe, and to also hear people out while you're doing all that, which is really a great accomplishment. I think you really push yourself. You push yourself often, and I think it pushes those around you. It pushes people to level up. So you just give me the feeling like you're always journeying to the next phase. That's something that people really admire about you. I think some people who feel really stuck, a lot of the time they look at you as like a superhuman in a way. Like you just have the ability to keep evolving. Let's look at your tarot cards. Okay, so you had the Five of Swords come up in reverse, and the Heart of Pentacles. So this is the Queen of Pentacles. This Five of Swords energy really kind of takes me back to this idea of seeing multiple points of view. You really have the ability to discuss things with people, to debate things, to see opposing views, but to not walk away holding a grudge about it. Like, you don't walk away with any ill will, with any negative feelings. You have a way of smoothing it all over, and it's just that balanced energy. You can totally talk to somebody who doesn't agree with what you're saying, who doesn't see the world the way that you see it, and you can have a reasonable conversation with them, a debate with them. You can present new ideas to them. You can listen to their point of view, and you'll actually take some of that in. And at the end of it, you can still be friends. Like that's kind of an accomplishment, because a lot of people cannot achieve that. But you just have a way of being able to balance out that energy, to not be afraid that there's another side to the story, that there's another point of view, there's another perspective. That doesn't scare you. I think that this card, like in this deck in particular, this card really talks about trusting yourself, and that trust in yourself can help you to be more fearless in the choices that you make. And I feel like we're really talking a lot about this. So like this idea of fearlessness is coming up a lot for you. People see you as fearless, and they love that about you. They admire that about you. With this Heart of Pentacles energy, this brings me a very down-to-earth kind of feeling. And that is something people love about you. They love that they can relate to you. They love that you you don't like put yourself on a pedestal or think so highly of yourself that you can't connect with and relate to other people. You're willing to work. So I'm seeing that you are a very hard worker. You're willing to put in the time and the effort to achieve things. You're not after instant gratification all the time. You don't expect other people to hand you things. You are willing to put in the effort. And the Heart of Pentacles, this Queen of Pentacles energy, really talks about graciously balancing, like loving and caring, like nurturing for people, graciously balancing that. So I do think there is this sense of there's just something so well-rounded about your energy. I think that is something that people are definitely drawn to. There's something so well-rounded when we take into account how intelligent you are, how caring you are, how protective at times you can be for those that you love, and how innovative you are. They're like, you're bringing a lot to the table. So I think that like people are really just admiring all of these different facets of you, all of these different ways that you manage to show up. I do want to say for your romantic connections, this idea of challenging people, I think, has always been present in your romantic connections, and that your partners have or do currently love this about you. They love that you're always kind of like leveling up, that you always want to level up the connection, that you always want to find a better way, a more efficient way, a more loving way to approach things. You're always trying to improve the connection. And I think even for you, that those of you who have had relationships end in the past, I think any person that has been in connection with you, so a past partner, I think that anyone who walked away from a connection with you, or you walked away from that connection, really feels better for having known you. I think that they feel like they were able to grow spiritually, mentally, to really evolve, to push themselves in a way that they wouldn't have been able to without you. So they look back at your connection, even if this is a past connection, they look back at it with a lot of fondness, because they see how much you pushed for them to transform, and that they're a better person for being in that relationship with you. So I think that's the highest compliment. A lot of people can have a lot of ill will and resentment after a relationship doesn't work out. But no, I think any of your past partners really feel like their evolution was dependent on you, that they were able to reach heights because of you that they would never have ventured to. So yeah, that is the highest compliment ever. I think I'm going to leave it there. This was a beautiful reading. You are absolutely a force, and people love that about you. People can't get enough of that. You bring a certain energy, a determined nature, and a really calm, peaceful, balanced fairness about everything that you do. So if you enjoyed this reading, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in another reading sometime soon, hopefully. Bye. Hi, number 3. If you were drawn to this image, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out why people are drawn to you, why they love you. So let's see what message is on this card. So this card says, the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. Okay, I'm going to get one of your oracle cards out right away. Let's see what we have. We have the empty room. Okay. People love you because, I think mainly they really admire you because of your ability to reinvent yourself. You have an ability to pick yourself up when you've fallen down, and to really like make it count. Like you don't just pick yourself up and limp across the finish line. I think that you really achieve some impressive things. I think people around you are very impressed by you. So the fact that this is coming through, you might have had to go through a lot of tough things, a lot of struggles in your life, and those close to you really know this about you, and they admire your strength and your ability to persevere even in really difficult situations. You've never let anything stop you or limit you. And this is something that those around you really, like, they admire, and they notice it. They notice that it's like nothing's going to hold you back. And I think that, like, it's encouraging to people around you, because they can look at your circumstance and think, if they can do it, so can I. So I think there's this like feeling of like you really inspire people by just showing up in a way, like just showing up to your own life and just making it through these challenges and these struggles. You really inspire a lot of people. Your resilience is something that people love about you. You are absolutely a fighter, and people love that about you. I think that a lot of people in your life, they see you as the strongest person that they know. I'm almost getting teary, you guys. I think that, I think people feel really deeply. They feel they feel so connected to you, or they feel so tapped in or can relate to your struggles. And it's like, that's where your strength is derived, from your struggles. So I think they feel a lot of an emotional connection when it comes to you. This is a really strong emotional connection. For some of you, oh, this might be why I'm feeling like that. For some of you, somebody absolutely fell in love with you. Now, this reading isn't about like romantic connections specifically. It can let you know why a romantic interest is drawn to you, but it's not about that specifically. But there is a message coming through for some of you that the person who, like, I guess you'll know who I'm talking about, because this might be somebody that you're in connection with, but it's definitely the person on your mind. This person fell in love with you because of your story, because of your challenges, because of what you have been able to, like, to make it through. It's because of all the pain. It's because of the hurt. It's because of all of the things that seemed like they were going to break you. This person actually fell in love with you because of that. Because of the strength you exhibited. It's like this person's higher self or their guides are coming through so much and really just listing off all of the reasons why they love you in particular. So there's somebody in your life that really wants to get a message across to you, that it's like, you may have been in a position of feeling like some of your past woundings, what you've been through, your background makes you less lovable. But there's someone coming through that's saying, no. That's why I fell in love with you. I fell in love with you because you're resilient as hell. I fell in love with you because you're the strongest person I've ever met in my life. I fell in love with you because I'm absolutely in awe of your strength and in your ability to push on. So that's for some of you. Wow. People also just really, they admire this about you. I kind of pick up on, like, this is something that maybe some people don't actually like about you, but they admire it about you. You're not somebody who will ask for help. So those that are close to you and really care for you, they want to help you. They want you to reach out. They want to assist you in any way that you need, but you're not a person who will ask for help. You're not a person who ever is seeking others' pity. And this isn't to say that you need more help than the average person. It's not that. It's just that you tackle things on your own. You take responsibility for your own struggles, or your own well, that doesn't make any sense. Your own responsibilities. You take responsibility for your own responsibility. I kind of get it. Like, you don't let what's on your plate overflow onto other people's plates. You really, like, if it's on your plate, then you're going to deal with it. You're going to see it through. You're going to finish it up. You're going to make sure that it's all in order when you're done. And people really admire this about you because it just exhibits that strength that you have. But also, there are people in your life that really want you to ask for help sometimes, that want to support you, even if it's not that you're in a position that you need assistance. It's just they want to support you. The thing is that you're strong enough to conquer anything, and that's what people love. Like, they just admire that strength. So they know that you don't need them. They just want to help you because they love you. It's not like, oh, they need so much help and I could really be of assistance. It's not like that at all. They totally know you don't need them. It's odd to say, but it's like, that's what they love about you. They love that you don't need them. They love that you're so strong and so determined that you're going to take care of things on your own. I think that you kind of like, you brighten up. It's odd too with this empty room card. So it's like you brighten up people's world a lot. And I think that doesn't necessarily mean that you've never been in a dark spot yourself, but your light shines so bright. I think it's like this feeling of like your light shines so bright that it really it powered you, it propelled you out of any kind of darkness. So that light is contagious. That like it's like the beauty of your soul is contagious. There's a real mental strength coming through here too. Let's get some more of your oracle cards. You have the crumbling. Let's move this up. And you have a higher view. Okay, yeah. You guys, like, it's like you've really you've been through a lot in your lives, and this is something that people know and they admire. I feel like even people who meet you and don't know specifically what you've been through, there's just a certain depth to you. There's a certain depth that allows them to just pick up on the fact that you have a different perspective, that you've really been through things and you've overcome. And there's like a strength to you that isn't just physical, it's mental. It might mainly be mental strength. I think you've been to some really dark places mentally, and you've conquered your inner demons, and people just admire this so much about you. I think you've always seen the potential in yourself, and this is something you encourage in other people. So even in these dark places, you saw the potential, like you saw what it could blossom into. You saw how you could come through it. But this crumbling really represents a tower moment. I think for some of you, you've had more than one of these tower moments, more than one of these phases of life where you had to kind of rebuild. And this is I just feel like your guides are saying it's your scars that make you beautiful. And that is like, I think that's what you're coming to realize. It's all of those wounds that make you more attractive, more appealing to people. I think for some of you, you may even have some physical scars that at one point you felt a little self-conscious about, and now you embrace them and you like realize this is just part of my story. This is just what makes me interesting. And like there's someone in your life that loves these things about you. They love your scars. They love your uniqueness. They love the qualities that are just so you that nobody else could like fill that void for them. I think that this is something people really love about you. You aren't the type of person that will cling to things just for the sake of having them. And I think maybe life forced you to be this way. Maybe things were taken away from you, or things changed in a way that felt like your foundation was crumbling underneath you. But what it's led to is just a more resilient nature about you. So it's like you don't cling on to things that no longer serve you. You're not willing to be inauthentic. If something is inauthentic in your life, then it's something that you're going to shed away. If something doesn't work for you, it's something you're going to shed away. So this goes for relationships, this goes for jobs, this goes for any area of your life. It's just when you notice that something's not working, you can move on from that a lot easier than most people. And it's something that people really admire about you, because a lot of people get stuck clinging on to things just because they're familiar. And I think that potentially a lot of the things that were familiar to you were stripped away, and it really left you with a more bare bones type of view when it comes to life. And it makes you somebody who can really identify those things in life that are important, those things in life that are essential and non-negotiable, and then like not care so much and not be so attached to everything else. So this is a really beautiful quality, and it just, I think it's just something that's a unique quality. Like this is something that is pretty uniquely you. It's not something that people run into all the time. So I just keep hearing the word pivot. So that might be significant to some of you. It's like your ability to pivot, your ability to move, your ability to reimagine something and keep moving. and to move through even disappointment and turn it into something beautiful is something people love about you. They aspire to be like that. I think you have an ability to really bring an objective view to things because of this. So it's like, because you're not so overly attached to things, especially things that don't work in your life and that don't serve you, you can bring a more objective view and you can help other people see where they're clinging, where they're attached and they shouldn't be. You have the ability to see the bigger picture in a lot of ways. And I think you draw other people's attention to the bigger picture a lot. It's like you soar above obstacles, that you find beauty even in tough times. There's a graceful quality to you. There's this feeling of like you sprouting your wings. Two kind of like winged images coming through here. So it's like you have really sprouted your wings, and yeah, it's like you have a unique perspective, probably because of what you've been through, but people love your unique perspective. People love to kind of like get your take on things because they know it's going to be different than what the average person would say. Like, your experience makes you unique. Your experience makes you something special, and it really catches people's attention. Let's look at your tarot cards. So you have the Moon. See there, it's about depth. It's about depth. And the Naked Heart. Oh my God, you guys got the, okay, calm down. I just got really excited. Okay, there's a depth to you, and this is what people are drawn to. They're really pulled in. I think it's something they can sense about you, even when they don't know quite like why it's there, but there is a depth, and it's intriguing. And then not only is it intriguing, once they find out more about it, they just love you even more. It's like we were talking about, like, your scars are what make you beautiful. They find out even more. They peel another layer back and they find something more special, more beautiful, more something that makes them look at you differently. I think a lot of times when people hear your story, they look at you so much differently. They think like, oh wow, like you're such a beautiful person and you've been through all of that. So yeah, there's a lot of depth here. You guys got the Naked Heart, and this is a card that's special to this deck. This is like an additional part of the major arcana in this deck, and yeah, I've never had it come out in a reading before, so I'm super excited, and that really just like points to how special you are. The Naked Heart is really about like letting you know that this talks a lot about your path. Like, I think for you, it's like you're on your own path. So you're noticing that. I feel like this is something you're noticing, but this is something people really love about you. So maybe probably around this time of like this feeling of you sprouting wings, it's like you evolved into this this almost magical like creature. It's like you have this magical quality about you, but you stopped comparing yourself to other people. And this is what, like, people love this because it's exhausting when you're around somebody who's just always comparing and trying to one up somebody else. You don't bring that kind of energy to it. You're not bringing like a harsh competitive energy to anything. You are really being in your own place, like being in your own spot and being secure with where you are and letting other people feel secure with where they are. You acknowledge that you are on your own unique path, and people love that you can see that, because even though you've been through some difficult times, you acknowledge and accept that this is your path and this is your journey. And it's not always an easy one, but I think you're able to look back on what has happened and see how it formed you into the person that you are, see how those scars have made you so beautiful. So you can be accepting of that. You can be at peace with that, and it allows people to feel at peace around you. You really, like, you spark we were talking about your light being so bright that it could propel you out of a dark place. That light sparks people around you. So you're the spark to other people's light. You're the spark to that. This card also talks about this moth here. It's like your light inspires the moth out of the dark place. Moths are drawn to the light. So it's like your light is what would attract this moth out of the dark place. And you have the empty room. So like this is the dark place. I think you have managed to pull yourself out of this dark place. Therefore, you are extremely gifted when it comes to helping other people pull themselves out of dark places, out of difficult places. And you just always bring a new perspective to it. Like, you have a unique way of viewing things because of everything that you've been through. I just think that you bring so much uniqueness. Your story is so unique. Your challenges formed you into who you are. And your recognition of that makes you so lovable to those around you. So I think I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for letting me read your cards. This is absolutely beautiful energy. I'm really happy to see how much you've overcome. It makes me feel uplifted. So I think that's how people around you feel. They feel really inspired. They feel like they can take on anything. They feel like they can do anything. That's the kind of lesson that you teach people all around you. So yes, beautiful energy. I'm sending you so much love and light. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing it. And I will see you in a reading sometime soon. Bye. Hi, number 4. If you were drawn to this image, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out why people are drawn to you, why people love you, what qualities and attributes really make them love you. So let's see what message is on the other side of this card. So this card says, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Okay, it's a beautiful message. Let's get your first oracle card out and then we'll talk about it. Okay, we have the prayer. Okay, immediately I can sense your energy. Your energy is really calm. Your energy is very soothing, and I think you have a calming and soothing effect on people, and they really want to be around you. So I think people are almost drawn to you like a magnet. Like there's kind of like a magnetic attraction to you, and this can be friends, family members. It can also be romantic interest, but they do feel really pulled to you just because it's like, because people are aware of energy, whether they know that they are or not, whether they think they're sensitive to energies or not. They can just feel that your energy is soothing, that it's loving, that it's calm, and they feel better in your presence. So people really love that about you. You're like emitting this soothing energy like a radio frequency is sort of like the image that's coming to my mind. I think what people love the most about you is that you know how to be supportive. Like you know how to be giving, how to hear people, how to hold space for people, and you know how to do this in a physical sense. So you might be really good at comforting somebody like when you're in person with that person, but you also know when to pull back and when to be supportive from a distance. And that's just like, that's a quality that people really like. They're drawn to that because it's like you don't overstep your bounds, but you always give that love and compassion, even if you're doing that from a distance sometime. You're very tapped into the emotions of others. You can intuitively sense the needs of those around you. I think people feel very seen, they feel very heard, they feel very supported and nurtured and cared for when they're in your presence. I'm really picking up on a lot of water sign energy here. You may be a water sign. If you're not, then you might have strong water placements, but you have this really emotional kind of you have an ability to really like pick up on and read emotions. And so I think for some people, like they might be hurting and they wouldn't say anything to like to anyone. I think this is really something that like I think has drawn a lot of people to you. Some people just they don't feel comfortable or they don't feel like they matter enough to share a struggle, share an emotional feeling, share like a feeling of doubt or of unworthiness. But with you, it's like they don't really have to share it because you'll pick up on it and you'll kind of soothe that. You might even bring it up to them. And so they really like, they feel acknowledged when they're in your presence. And of course, people love that because you have a way of making people not feel like they're alone. I'm also kind of, you know, it's funny I said that like a radio frequency. It's like people can pick up on your care and your nurturing energy from miles away. So it just, I have this feeling that people are very drawn to you. You might be someone that notices that animals are really drawn to you. You might, if you go over to someone's house and they have a dog or a cat, that animal will come right over to you and they'll sit next to you or jump in your lap. I think some of you might have had like weird instances where animals like follow you around or just show up at your front door or in your backyard, or because animals are super sensitive to energy, like even more so than we are as human beings, because we kind of deny our instinctual like urges or our just instinctual knowing of things. We have a tendency to deny that if we're not really practiced in tapping into it. Animals don't suffer from that that need to deny everything that feels true. So you might notice that animals are really drawn to you. You might have a strong connection with animals in general, or a strong connection with a particular animal, like a pet that you've been very, very close to. They really pick up on your subtle energies. I think people in general, they feel safe around you. This is why animals would be drawn to you, because you have a way of making everyone around you feel really safe. So I think for most of you, this is probably in an emotional sense. You make people feel emotionally safe. You make them feel safe to have their emotions, to confide in you, to kind of express and expose themselves in a very emotional way. But I think there's also an element of you making people feel safe physically and also spiritually. So you might be someone who has offered somebody like a spare room or a hot meal. Maybe your couch. Like I'm getting this vibe of like you're always trying to help people. You're very giving of everything that you have to offer, and you will make people feel feel safe and comfortable. So for some of you, this comes in the form of like being a really exceptional host or hostess. So you might be like the person where everyone gathers at your place for a party, or you like to have people over, you like to cook for people, or you always have like drinks, or like you kind of set the mood, you set the environment. There's just this feeling that you welcome people in and you make them feel very comfortable. Yeah, but I am picking up on, for some of you, you have like a passion for feeding people, maybe like looking after people who don't have a place to live or who don't have food to eat. Like you have this calling of extreme compassion. It feels very unique. I do think like if you pick this pile, there's something very unique. You'll go above and beyond. I'm getting that like the kind of feeling like people would describe you as someone who would give you the shirt off their back. You're somebody who would give someone your last dollar. Very, very giving, very kind person. There's also this feeling of like people love to be around you because you accept them for exactly who they are. You accept them in their authentic form. A very non-judgmental energy coming from you. And I think this is why people like to confide in you. This is why people know that they can rely on you. They can depend on you because you're not judging them in any way. You're accepting them exactly as they show up. Very open-hearted. There is a lot of energy here about being of service. So a lot of you may have felt a calling to be of service in some way. You might work in an industry where you are in service, and that can be so many different things. That can be, you might wait tables. You might be in like the hospitality industry. You might be in the medical field where you are of service to people in terms of their health. I'm picking up on like nurse for a lot of people. But I just feel like you have this calling to be of service, to it's like you don't have a problem humbling yourself, and this is something people really love and admire about you. No matter how much you've accomplished, no matter how much you've achieved, or how highly people may look at you, you're never too proud to humble yourself and to serve someone else, to help someone else, to provide something for someone else. You never see yourself as above other people. You see people as like very equal. And you're always willing to give, and always willing to help, and always willing to listen. I think for a lot of you, it's a lot about like you're a listening ear for a lot of people. You are someone to confide in. I think you come across as very polite. I think you're the type of person that always says thank you and please, like even in circumstances where people tend to be quite rude. So you come across as a very nice person, and this might be what draws people in initially. But I think that where that's coming from is that you really do feel a sense of gratitude, and you express it. Like you have a true and authentic feeling of gratitude. And it's kind of, oh, I'm sorry, I hit the table, you guys. It's kind of contagious. It's like you've evolved past your ego. There's this feeling of like you've really evolved past that. You see the we, you see the us, you see how no person is better or more worthy of anything than any other person. You just like you see people for who they authentically are, which is like a very special soul. Like we're all part of that bigger one, and you see people that way and you treat people that way. Let's get some more of your oracle cards. So we have Priestess. So this is, how are you being called to step up and lead? And we also have Awakening Genius. Okay. I feel like there's a message coming through here for you guys that it was a little bit unexpected, but I think that you are being called to kind of step up in a way that maybe you haven't explored yet. I think this calling to be of service, this calling to care for people, to help people, to whatever that is for you uniquely, it's like you're being called to really pursue that, because it is a natural strength and ability of yours. It's something that people recognize in you. It's something that you do so naturally. So the Priestess is really a teacher that's dedicated to service, and that is what we're talking about here. You're always willing to be of service to others, and you make people feel so loved and appreciated. So this is just like confirmation of that. You might realize, I think for a lot of you, you don't see yourself, you don't realize how much you guide people, like how much you're leading by example. So this might be kind of why this leadership message is coming through. You are kind of a natural born leader, but I think you do it in a very subtle way. You do it in a very easy and graceful way, because you really lead by example. You inspire people to be better. You inspire people to be nicer to one another. You inspire people to be polite to one another. Like you just bring kind of this softness to things that that make people think view the world as a better place than they did before they were in your presence. I think you're really somebody who owns your mistakes. Um, I think you're someone who will share your story with people and you'll relate to people in that way. So you're not too proud, again, to talk about some of the struggles that you've had or some of the times that you've messed up, some of the ways that you would wish you had handled a situation differently. And it really helps you connect with people. So I think you just have this way of really tapping in to people, really connecting with them on a deeper level. Like you could have a short conversation with somebody and they come away feeling very connected, very heard, very supported, because you just do that so quickly and so naturally. And you really have the courage to do that, because a lot of people they shy away from making connections like that. You have the courage to reach out and to connect with people in a true way, in an authentic way, in a really heart-centered way. I want to talk about this Awakening Genius card, because I think something is kind of coming alive in you. This card really it talks about the ancient Greeks and how they believed that each person had a specific genius that acted as a spirit guide, which is such a crazy, wonderful concept. I think for you, this is completely in effect. I think that your calling to be of service, your calling to be compassionate, to be kind, to care for others, to respect others, to see people. It's like you cut through and actually see people as their higher selves, as their most evolved version, which helps you to really treat them with kindness and respect. This does serve as kind of a guide for you, because it really lights your path. It leads your way. You don't have to think about it. And that's why it's called genius. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to try for this, but it really does lead you. It guides you. It informs all of your decisions. And it's really a beautiful thing. I think you're growing in the knowledge of how beautiful your particular genius is. You're seeing all of the special qualities about this. You're noticing how unique and how rare this is. And I think those around you really notice how unique and how rare this is. And that's why they feel so drawn to you. They feel so pulled to you. I think that for some of you in the past, maybe being so giving might have backfired. I just think it comes so naturally to you, though, that you can't help it. I think sometimes people aren't going to be in the place to receive. Sometimes people haven't shown kindness in return, but you haven't stopped, you haven't changed your true nature, even though some people aren't willing to return this to you. And that can be casual encounters with people, just rude people in the world, or it can be people of more significance in your life. But the beautiful thing about you is that it hasn't changed your heart. It hasn't sullied your heart. It hasn't tarnished, tainted this muscle that makes you who you are, that makes you willing and able to give so much of yourself. You remain in that pure energy. And I think you really have a way of getting people to open up. That's really coming through. Is I think people, they share a lot with you. They confide in you a lot. And maybe sometimes in ways that surprises even them. Because I think you get people to open up about topics that they have not discussed with other people, that they would not feel comfortable talking to other people about. Let's look at your tarot cards. Okay, you have Justice, Libra energy. So funny that this came out. One of the other readings was really focused around this kind of feeling of justice. So it's interesting that this came out for you. I feel like that might have been group 2. So there might be a message for you in group 2. And you also have the 2 of Cups. Yeah. Let's start with Justice. I think that there's this part of you that always wants to balance the scales, and people love that about you. You're kind of like something my mom used to say to me. My mom used to tell me that I was always for the underdog. And I think that that is very accurate about you. You want to, like, you want to balance things out. You want things to be fair. You want everyone to be heard, for everyone to have their turn, for everyone to feel cared for and to feel like there's a space for them. And this is really apparent, and it's just something that makes people feel so drawn to you because um, they know that you're going to kind of fight for that for them. It's not really, you don't do it in an aggressive sense at all. You do it in a very calm, easy sense, and you're not afraid to be giving of yourself to make sure that the scales are balanced out. I think that spirit really works through you quite often because you're someone that can be depended on to make things fair, to make things right, to care for others. There's a confidence. I feel like spirit has a true confidence in you that you'll do the right thing. You'll show up in the right place. You'll say the right thing. You'll do the work. Like, some people are given gifts and they do not exercise their abilities. You'll do the work and you'll take care of those around you. This Two of Cups, really, the Two of Cups talks about the flow of love between two people. I think this isn't just necessarily between you and one other. This is between you and anyone, but at any given time, it's you and that one person at the time. There's a flow of love, a really loving exchange that goes on between you. And this is really about creating deep connections, about creating meaningful partnerships. It's about meaningful partnerships that are based on shared values, that are based on compassion, that are based on unconditional love. And I feel like that's something that you exhibit so easily and so effortlessly, this feeling of unconditional love. And of course, people want to be around that energy. They feel like they can be loved and accepted and valued for exactly who they are. I think that's so fitting that you got the Two of Cups. That's really, really beautiful. I think I'm going to leave this reading here, number 4. This is absolutely beautiful energy. I love this compassionate energy. I love this nurturing energy. It's beautiful. And there is no doubt in my mind that there are a lot of people who are drawn to you, that there are a lot of people who feel pulled toward this beautiful energy that you have, because it's very soothing and it really makes people feel like they matter. And that is something that not everyone can do. So yes, I am sending you tremendous amounts of love and light. If you liked this reading, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing it. And I will see you in another reading sometime soon. Bye.